I get to follow that. It is a true honor to be standing before you tonight. I think Pat would really get a kick out of this, but she also wouldn't be very happy because it's about her. Patricia Sue Head Summitt, a.k.a. Trish. Trish to her family and her closest friends that she grew up with, a.k.a. Sandra Lee Fields. Sandra Lee Fields to a police officer who pulled her over one night. Pat Summitt in trouble, really? Of course she was. She was pulled over for speeding early in the morning, and in fear of her father finding out, she told the police officer her name was Sandra Lee. He said, Sandra Lee what? You know you have to have two names in your first name in Tennessee. She said, Sandra Lee Fields. So yes, Pat Summitt got in trouble, but she was much smarter than the former Lady Vols and current Lady Vols. Number one, she didn't use her real name. And number two, she didn't put it up on social media. So you all can see that Pat had a need for speed, and I don't think the tractors in Henrietta had a governor on them. It must not have controlled the speed, but I think Pat Summitt was born to fly. One of her first cars that Pat Summitt owned was a 300Z, and it wasn't just a 300Z, it was a turbo 300Z. Pat thought when she drove, you can and you must multitask. So Pat would be going about, I'm gonna be nice, 80 miles an hour. Her rearview mirror was not for seeing behind her. It was to straighten it up, put her mascara on, talk on the phone, and drive with her knee. When you were a passenger with Coach Summitt, you did not look at the speedometer because, number one, you did not see the needle. Number two, you did not look straight ahead of fear if you would see what she's about to hit. You simply looked out the side and you just prayed, please let us get to our destination, please. She loved that car. Like Sandra Lee Fields, Pat got pulled over a lot. I often wondered, how did she avoid so many tickets? Well, Pat had a plan. You know, she always had a plan, as Mickey said, always had a plan. Well, she started keeping her purse in the trunk. She'd get pulled over, and the officer would say, obviously, can I see your license? Well, officer, my purse is in the trunk. Can I just get out of my car and get it? She gets out, opens her trunk, and there's about a half a dozen basketballs that just so happened to be signed by Pat Summitt. Of course, the police officer would say, can I get one of those autographed balls? And Pat goes, why, of course. And we all know what the next line was going to be. Now, you slow down, Miss Pat. All of a sudden, they were on first name basis. So I started out as a kid from Knoxville, Tennessee with a dream. My dream, it came true, but I found a coach, a mentor, and a great friend all in one. Pat was gracious. She had an unbelievable sense of humor, and she actually was able to laugh at herself. She was tough but kind, and when she used my last name, Warlick, it was not good. Pat had a way of getting everything out of you. Now, I would get in trouble it wasn't really bad. I'd get in trouble, and before I'd go into Pat's office, I would say, I'm not saying a word. Well, when I walked in and that door shut, and it's me and Pat Summitt, I would sing, and she'd go, I already know everything. So you might as well just tell the truth. I know everything you did. I just start singing like a little canary. So much for my being able to hold back. Pat enjoyed life, and life loved her back. There wasn't too much Pat was afraid of. Really, there was not, except for one time, and it was singing in public. You see Pat, she's gone through championships, before games, never nervous. So we were behind, she was down in this back hall behind the bleachers here, and she had a mic. Of course, it was off, and she was pacing up and down, practicing Rocky Top. Did it up and down, and I just was like, okay, Pat, I get it. I said, what are you so nervous about? And so she said, it was before she went out before the halftime of the men's game. She said, before I left the house today, she said, Miss Hazel told me, she said, now, Trish, you're on national TV. She said, don't embarrass me or yourself. We're here to honor Coach Summitt tonight, and I really can't think of a better way to do that than sing her favorite song with her one last time. So tonight, on the count of 3, all right, will you please sing Rocky Top with our head cheerleader, okay? All right, so when I count to 3, they're going to put her. There you go.
Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top. Ain't no telephone bills. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Yes. You gotta love it. Wow. Pat, I love you. You'll always be in my heart. We are going to keep your spirit alive here at the University of Tennessee. And as Pat always said to me, once a Lady Vol, always a Lady Vol. Love you, Pat.